so basically what we're gonna do, a quick little run through of the city's recycling program. We're not our office isn't part of Department of Sanitation. We just, one of the things we do is go out to community groups, people's homes, and go through, make sure that, I don't have any of the decals with me, make sure that you have your green decal and your blue decal on the bins, make sure the area is set up properly, and then we do workshops with all residents, even if it's only a couple of families in a building. And then at the end of the workshops, unfortunately this was last minute, so I don't have any bags with me. I was running around a bit today, but we'll give everybody a set of recycling bags that you can then, you fill the paper bag up in your apartment, bring it to the recycling area, dump it in. We just try to simplify it. I know that the Department of Sanitation, sometimes you can get tickets, and so these are the basic rules that you can always remember for each material. You have paper, you have metal, glass, plastic, and beverage cartons. And we're just going to go through some examples really quickly to simplify it, and then we can answer any questions you might have. So this just represents, again, the recycling program. And one of the reasons why we do this is, in New York now we don't have any landfills. All of our trash that doesn't get recycled goes to landfills. And since there are no more landfills in New York City, it's getting shipped to other states. Some of it's getting incinerated, and the landfill cost alone it's approximately $300 million the city is paying to other states just to take our trash, to put it in a pile and let it sit there. So if we can recycle a little bit more, not only is it good for the environment to reuse things and use less resources, everybody's, there's global warming, climate change, and what we see every day nowadays is the spill. And that's where, oil we use for gasoline, but it's also, made plastic. All the plastic that we use nowadays is made from oil. So the less plastic maybe we use, the less we have to drill, and all sorts of issues that surround that. But let's quickly take it back down to what we can do every day on a daily basis, not only to help the city, but the more we recycle, the more, sort of the one thing we can do on a daily basis to help with climate change. Oftentimes, there's that big talk of sea levels rising, and what can you do on a daily basis? This is one little thing that it may seem insignificant, but if the 8 million plus residents in New York City, if we recycled more, we can maybe make a little bit more of an impact. So just gonna hold something up, and you tell me where you think it should go. So we've got blue bag for metal, glass, plastic, green bag for paper, and then the regular trash bag.
Blue.
Blue, right.
Blue.
I heard a trash over here. Correct, yes. So this is plastic, and technically it can be recycled, but as of now the city only takes certain plastics. So what you want to remember is only plastic bottles and jugs, with the neck smaller than the base.
Yeah,
that's
I have
it.
a problem with that.
You got a problem with the we can talk about
Nothing with that type of plastic.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a problem with that type of plastic.
For an egg carton? Or yeah, so one thing, so this unfortunately we'll go through and maybe answer some questions about tickets and whatnot. What about
Garbage.
Paper.
What's this one made out of? Paper, right?
Paper.
So this one can go into the paper bin. The basic rule that you want to remember for paper is just like that sheet says, if you can rip it, you can recycle it. as long as it's clean, there's no food on it. And sometimes you'll rip a piece of paper, you see a plastic lining or a metal lining, that kind of stuff you just put in the trash. The basic way that they recycle paper, about 50% of all the paper that gets picked up in New York City goes to a facility in Staten Island where it gets made right back into cardboard, comes back in pizza boxes basically. But what they do is they repulp it and they put all the paper into a giant vat of liquid and it breaks it down to its fibers. And so this is, when there's a lining of some sort, it's not going to break down the same way. So as long as it's all paper, that's why we say if you can rip it, you can recycle it. And so you go to the supermarket, you have this choice, you have the styrofoam or the paper. Paper is the only one that can be recycled currently in New York. So the exception for paper though are paper cups and paper plates, stuff that's been used for food. That's, what I said, make sure it's clean. Paper plates and cups, even if it was clean, they just want it, they don't want people to get confused and end up in the recycling, because more often than not you have paper plates and cups at a big party, people are eating food, and inevitably they'll throw it in the recycling if you say to put the plates. So paper plates and cups into the regular trash. This is another tricky one.
Yes.
What do you think?
I rented and put it in the recycle.
Yeah. So blue is correct, and one thing that I did forget to mention, which I thank you for, with everything you want to make sure that you rinse it before you put it into the recycling. Recycling only gets picked up once a week, whereas trash is twice a week, so you don't want pests being attracted to your recycling. So quick rinse, and one thing that I can mention here, and dump out the water, put it into the blue bin. And a lot of times people think because of the cardboard that it should go with the paper, but when you look at the inside of a lot of these, they're lined so they hold liquid in, and that process of recycling paper, it's not going to break down the same way. So there's just a special process that they separate it out and recycle it. So again, plastic bottle, rinse it out, and when you pour out the rinse water, you're left with the bottle and the cap. So you recycle the bottle, and the cap is plastic, but it's not a bottle or a jug. So just remember that bottle or jug. It seems like it's a lot, but once you get into the habit of it, it's sort of just second nature to do it. What about?
Oh boy.
What's it made out of? Metal, right?
Yeah.
So the basic rule that you want to remember for metal is if it's 50% metal or more, even if this had a plastic handle, it would be fine to recycle. Of course, if this was still usable, we'd recommend reuse, donating it, because reuse is better than recycling because you're using less resources again. So, but yeah, it's a little worn out, so you can put that into the blue bin, it's fine. What about garbage, right?
Recycle.
Recycle, right? In the blue bin.
Blue.
The rule. Well, there we go. So rinse it out, and what are most glass have metal caps, right? So it's fine to put those in the recycling. It's just, again, picking up the material, saying, okay, this is metal, that's fine. But with the plastic cap, you use what it's made out of, and then you think about the rule for that material. And that's why we made up, unfortunately, I don't have sanitation's decals or the checklists with the cartoon pictures that you've probably all seen. I usually bring those with me, but again, it was a hectic day. The reason why we passed those out, but we also made these just to try to simplify it, give the basic rule rather than all the examples, just so you can try to remember the various rules.